Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV and a new edition of our online interview series. We want to talk today to Aurania Resources, and Dr. Keith Barron is with us. Hey, Keith, good to see you. Good morning to, you are in Quito, right?
I am. Yeah.
Super, perfect. So you are in country, that is great, and hope everything is fine with you. I think we have a lot of things to discuss, as we had a lot of viewers sending us questions and asking us about your company. I'm a shareholder too, and I participated also in your financing. Let's start with the financing. I mean, it was a bit on the lower side, but probably you had to do it because exploration costs money, right?
It certainly does. And as you know, we've had a pullback in the metals prices and also a bit of a setback in the general market. So, this is not something, this is something certainly beyond my control. Yeah. They sometimes they refer to junior mining companies as burning matches because we always need money.
That's right, absolutely. And I mean, you have an extremely large land package. This of course costs also money. But I must say, when I saw it, 8th December, you reported a high-grade drill intercepts of 12% zinc and 61 grams per ton gallium, plus also indium. That is really of interest for me.
Yeah. Gallium is used in computer chips. In fact, it's the only thing that's useful for 5G. Gallium, they make gallium arsenide. So it's worth a lot of money. It's a byproduct of zinc mining. A few zinc mines in the world have enough gallium for it to be recoverable. But this is certainly a bonus for us. I mean, we're not chasing gallium by any stretch of the imagination, but it does add a bunch of dollars per ton, and that's always a happy scenario.
Okay, so nice to have, I would say. Super.
Sure.
Exactly. So now with this, let's say, zinc, gallium, indium, all of a sudden, then we were talking about silver, copper, and gold in the past. Maybe somebody might think that you are having so many metals, you are drilling at so many different places. Can you comment a bit on that? Because I think you still have a game plan in mind, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, when we started out on this exploration just over 4 years ago, we were looking for gold, but much to our great surprise and delight, we ended up with porphyry copper targets, silver, copper, and sediments. First time it's ever been found in this country, and high-grade zinc and silver together. We're still looking at epithermal gold, silver. We've been very, very upfront about this. If you took our land package and you just took the area and moved it to the south by 100 kilometers, we would include Fruta del Norte. We would include the Mirador copper mine. We'd include a whole bunch of different things and a whole bunch of different metals and different scenarios here. And that essentially is what we've found on our property. Now, I don't think this is a bad thing. Some people accuse me of jumping around here, but we're working on all different targets, and some of them are coming at very different timings. But it gives us a lot of optionality. And, essentially for the copper producers of this world, they potentially are not interested in zinc, and the zinc people are not interested in copper. And I've been very upfront, what I intend to do with this thing, what I would like to do is to split it up into a different, both geographically and commodity based, and so that there are a number of different, potentially different joint ventures. And I end up giving the shareholders several different bites of the apple. Now, just to give you a scenario here, when I had the Aurania company, we found potentially 12 porphyry coppers while we were looking for gold, 12 of them, right? And we intended to do a copper spinout. And of course, what happened is that we ran into the banking crisis and everything, and events overtook us. So we weren't able to do it. Had I been able to do that, some of those projects that we have are now joint ventures between Lundin Gold and Newcrest. They're working on them, right? I would have been able to give the shareholders two bites of the apple and two chances to make a lot of money. And that's really what I want to do now.
Okay, super. That makes absolutely sense. And I could imagine it's also really interesting. I think very close to you was lately a copper discovery. What does that implement to Aurania?
It's not something brand new, but it ended up it was owned by David Lowell, and David Lowell had an unfortunate dispute with the indigenous people in the area. And really nothing happened until he passed away last year at the age of 93. Now, there are 12 drill rigs on that thing right now. And it's incredible. The company itself has not released recently a resource or reserve statement, though I expect they'll be doing that in the spring sometime. But the banks are all working in the back, and they generate with every drill hole that comes out, they generate a resource number, and then they publish that in their their coverage. So one of the banks is saying that the thing is already at 1 billion tons of 0.5% copper, and let's say that the thing has only been 20% explored. If it grows by 5 times, that propels it into the top 10 in the whole world. And that's 12 kilometers south of our southern boundary. You know, I said to a bunch of people recently, the people who got into the stock very, very early, this is like an incredible windfall, because it's like a proximity play. Because we're the next people over, and we do have copper porphyry targets. I know today you want to talk about Awacha. Why don't we talk about that?
Of course, please. It's on my list.
That's one of my favorite targets.
Yeah.
It's something that we've known about for quite some time, but we had to get a kind of an occupation and land use agreement with the indigenous people, and simply because of the COVID thing, we couldn't assemble a meeting of the village, and we needed to get that done. That has happened. We have geologists there today, and they're doing geological mapping and sampling and soil sampling on top of this thing. We already know in the vicinity we have both copper and molybdenum in the stream sediments, and these things, the alteration zones, come to surface. So, I mean, the chances are more than excellent that they're going to be porphyry copper. It's a big question mark as to size and grade, of course. Nobody knows that. But this is something that, especially with this developing scenario on our southern boundary, I think it makes it it's very important for us, and potentially it's going to put us in the spotlight.
Okay, so what work do you want to do then in 2022? Because this year is gone already on Awacha.
Yeah. Well, the idea is the first quarter of next year we'll be drilling there. And we have another target. It's a considerable distance away. It's called Tadasham. And the viewers will know about that. It's a very, very large magnetic anomaly. It's in an area that's in very steep terrain, and because of that, it's going to be technically difficult to drill and rather expensive. So we thought we'd go for the low-hanging fruits and go and drill Awacha first. And I think that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, super. So what is going on then on Senken? Because I think the drills are turning there, right?
Not right now. We're shut down for Christmas.
Okay, good.
But of course, we have been doing work there. We've, I'm not sure. Yeah, so there'll be potentially some news coming out about that later on it takes a while to get the stuff back from the labs. I mean, they're dealing with COVID like everybody else. So it'll take a little while, but yeah, we certainly, it's very, very interesting targets there. And also Tyria with the high grade zinc. We put it in the press release that it's a shoot, and I don't believe it is a shoot. I think it's a vertical feeder. It was rather narrow, but I think this is basically, it's kind of like a step and stair thing. So you've got vertical feeders, and then you've got flats, and then another feeder, and then another flat, like that. A stack system, kind of like a stack of pancakes. It's a great looking target. It's if you put the sediment hosted copper and the zinc together, we're looking at a strike length now of 55 kilometers. And the only other people in the whole world who've got an ore system that's this big are the communists in China. And and they have one big zinc mine in production. But at the end of the day, are there going to be numerous or several mines along this 55-kilometer trend? I think that there's a very good probability. It's just going to take time and take work. Yeah.
Okay, super. So I saw also in one of your press releases that Professor Borg did a site visit, and I know him since, I think, 10 or 12 years.
Wow.
He's a great fellow. He's really fantastic. I had a chance to talk several hours with him. And have you received already a report from him or something?
Yeah, we have, and he's actually going to be doing a video any day now. It'll be coming out. And kind of explaining in layman's language what he saw. But it was a very, very good visit because he recognized these things called collapse structures in proximity to salt. And I think that we have found salt on our project. The indigenous people actually produce salt from salt brine springs at surface. But we've actually drilled into the stuff in the subsurface, and where that gets dissolved, it forms cavities. Those cavities can get filled in potentially by copper mineralization. So it's a very, very important thing because it's a potential structural host, structural trap for copper. The people in the oil patch and the oil business, they look for these sorts of things as traps for hydrocarbons. And we're following a similar sort of scenario methodology to find traps for metals.
Okay, super. So what do you think for 2022 would be catalysts, let's say, finally to bring up again the share price?
Well, I mean, if we were to have some nice intersections at Awacha, of course, that's going to move the needle considerably. But you know what? There's other things as well. We do have companies in the data room right now that are looking at us. And I'm not saying that we're doing a deal with anybody now or anything like that, but certainly it's on the radar. And I think it's largely because of this copper scenario on our southern boundary. It really doesn't exactly put us in play, but it certainly turns the temperature up, and no, it's great. Yeah.
Super. I mean, the early bird catches the worm, right?
That's exactly right. And we were the first people to do any work here ever, right? And that's why we have this whole basket of minerals of different type. And I don't see this as a negative. I see it as a huge positive. because, if for whatever reason the zinc price doesn't perform in the next year, we've got copper and we've got gold and we've got silver and we've got other stuff, right? And so, it gives us a lot of variety, and a variety gives you optionality.
Exactly. Super.
Yeah.
That was a great final sentence, Keith. Thank you very much for your time and the update. I think that was really needed, also for me, very important. And I wish you a Merry Christmas. Stay safe and healthy, of course. Happy New Year. And please give us good drill results next year, that things are really going the way how we want it.
Well, let's hope that Santa is good to us.
Yes.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. Super. Thank you very much, Keith. All the best. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Keith Barron, the CEO of Aurania Resources. And yeah, you heard it. I mean, they faced some trouble in the share price. They had to do a financing. Of course, exploration costs money. This is the name of the game. And they had to do it in a horrible market environment. But still, the drills are turning, not by now because it's Christmas break, but the drills are turning again then in the new year. And there is some good activity in the south to them, only 12 kilometers away, with a big copper porphyry, and also I think it's quite indicative with the zinc and gallium and also indium values that something is going on there. And we heard, of course, also from our viewers that they said, well, they are chasing so many metals. What's going on here? But as Keith said, the right thing, it is a super large property. Don't forget that. And also they have a game plan in mind, and companies are in the data room. So let's see how that goes. We are still very positive for Aurania. We think they are on the hunt of something really big. Thanks for watching us. Merry Christmas and bye-bye from Switzerland.